Hallelujah. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for coming, man. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you, man. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thanks for coming, man. Thanks for being here. Thank you guys. Thank you, man. Good to see you, man. Good. I'm glad I'm here as well. Yeah, great to see you guys. Hey, great to see you guys. Glad you're here. Welcome to Comeback Boys of the Bible. How to get up from the knockdowns of life. And I'm glad you guys are here. And of course, a lot of you guys I know, some I don't, but I'm glad you're here. But I'm especially glad you guys are here as well. And whoever you are, wherever you are. And of course, I don't know you, but I'm praying that over these next few weeks, we're going to get to know each other. And God's going to do something good. Hey, I just feel like I need to know to let you guys know for sure that something about me, and this is obvious, you're going to notice this as I talk, but it's just a fact. But I got to tell you up here at the front that I am a stutterer. Now, all that really means is that I stutter. And I don't want to brag or anything, but actually I'm a pretty good stutterer. I stutter really well. Now you stutter as a speaker preacher guy, and of course initially it's weird for you, the audience, because obviously most preachers, most speakers don't stutter and don't do all the stuff I do, and you'll see. And it has to be weird for you, the audience. I mean, and especially for all you out there, it has to be weird for you. You're sitting out there and you just heard that your speaker for the next 30 minutes now and the next 7 weeks is a stutterer, and you're thinking whatever you're thinking. You're feeling sorry for the guy. You're thinking, why do we have to have the stutter? Whatever you're thinking. I don't know what you're thinking, but whatever you're thinking. But let me set your minds at ease. In one sense, being a stutterer is no big deal unless you want to say something. and obviously, it's going to be a factor. And all of my life it's been a factor. I can honestly say if stuttering has done anything for me, it has definitely made my life exciting in that I never know in any situation I'm in if I'm going to be able to say something or not. And believe me, I've been in 1,000 situations all of my life where I've had something to say, wanted to say it, and just had an exciting time trying to get it said. I mean, it affected me as a kid. I mean, I don't stutter as well as I used to stutter. But as a kid, I was a great stutterer. In fact, I may have stuttered as well as anybody has ever stuttered. I'm not sure if they keep those kind of stats or not. But as a kid, I couldn't talk. Couldn't say my name. Couldn't say hello to people. Couldn't talk on the phone. In fact, I'd be at the house and our phone would ring when I was a little kid. And every once in a while, I tried to answer the phone, and I did this hundreds of times. I would get the receiver, pick it up, get stuck, start the stutter. Couldn't say anything, so I just hang up on them. And it affected every area of my life as a kid. It affected me in school. I mean, I had hundreds of experiences in school. Just reading was a real challenge for me. Speech class, when I got to junior high, I had that first class. That was a major adventure for me. Spanish class. Now, if you can imagine me stuttering English, you should have heard me stuttering Spanish. It was pretty impressive. But it's always affected my life. As a kid, it affected me. As a student, and also as an athlete. Now, I did play football, and I happened to be a quarterback. Now, most of you know that normally a guy that plays that position, usually, you need to be able to talk. You got to call the plays in the huddle. You got to say the huts at the line of scrimmage. You got to change the play at the line of scrimmage. Of course, all that happens in highly stressful, time-sensitive situations. Where for me, it was always exciting. Now, in high school, all you're allowed, of course, obviously, when I was in high school, all you were allowed in the huddle to call a play and get everyone up the line of scrimmage to get the ball snap. Of course, it was 25 seconds. That was all you got. Well, obviously, for me, 25 seconds just wasn't enough time to say all the stuff I had to say and stutter. So we were constantly having situations that I'd be in the huddle, calling the play. I get stuck, start the stutter, 25 seconds runs out, referee throws the flag, and we lose 5 yards for the last game. So I'm costing us a lot of yardage. So my coach devised a system whereby if I was on the field, I never had to say anything. And we did that in the huddle. We had a split end. He always stood right beside me in the huddle. His name was Steve Thomas. Steve called every play for me in the huddle. He'd say the formation, he'd say the play, he'd say the snap count, he'd say ready break. So essentially, I didn't have to do anything in the huddle because Steve said everything for me. In fact, my coach had said, Neal, you just be on a knee in the huddle and kind of act like you're doing something. But he said, don't open your mouth because it just confuses everybody. So Steve said everything for me in the huddle. We'd break the huddle, hustle up with the line of scrimmage. Once we reached the line of scrimmage, I had a fullback. He always lined up right behind me in the I formation. His name was Stu Cropper. Stu would say all of the huts for me at the line of scrimmage. And it was so unique
at the start of every ball game just to watch that initial reaction of the defense when Stu'd be saying those huts. Of course, he's in the stands. You can't even see him, and I'd just be smiling on the center kind of. And of course, nobody knew who was saying those huts, where those huts coming from. But I just want you to know that stuttering has always affected my life. It'll be exciting in this series as well. But I just want you to know, hey, I stutter. I'm going to stutter, but know this: when I get stuck and start to stutter, wait a minute, because something is coming. Here's what we're going to do. Come back, boys, to the Bible. You know, all through the Bible, the stories about men who God did great things in their life, but had something happen along the way that was a knockdown. Either they caused it, or something happened to them, or just the world, the situation, something, but it knocked them down. But God did in their situation a whole new incredible thing that brought them back in an amazing comeback. You know, in some respects, a good knockdown is worth it if you have a great comeback. And what we're going to do is look at some things in the lives of 7 men. And we're going to see what God has done in their life, through their life, some awesome things. We're going to see what made them fall, what made them trip up, what made them stumble a little bit. And then we're going to see where they were, how they got there, and then we're going to see what God did in their life, in it, and the end result, how God brings them back. Because ultimately, the gospel of Jesus Christ is all about coming back. Amen. From anything and from everything. And you know what the fact is? Every one of us has been there. Right. You know, every one of us. Well, these last years have been tough. And tough situation, a tough economy, tough, all kinds of tough things. You know what? Men have been knocked down. But you know what? Our God wants to do a great and glorious thing in our lives and through your life. Here's the first one we're going to do today. Moses. Tough gig for the top dog. And Moses, of course, was God was designed for him. God's plan for his life was to be the deliverer of the nation of Israel out of Egypt. Israel were slaves in Egypt under Pharaoh, and God was going to do a great thing. He was the one who was going to lead the Exodus. God had a great plan for his life. Man, I want you to know this. God's got a great plan for your life. He's got something he wants to do in you and through you that is far beyond anything you can think or even imagine.